I appreciate you taking the time to do this. We're recording this on it's Saturday. I thought it was Sunday for a second. It's Saturday, but you're watching football. I'm distracting you from that, but we're gonna get through this.
You would never distract me. I'm good. I'm good.
I
I knew
like
what I
that-
was doing when I said yes. I knew what was up.
Well, I like that right off the bat that you sort of gave me that like family member status. I get
Yeah.
these things through John, which is great. So I appreciate that very much.
No, of course.
Very much. All right. So, dude, you going back to like July 22nd to then fast forwarding, not very long to July 31st, you get signed to AEW. So that all happens very, very quick. Now, as of yesterday, not by the time this comes out, but in 5 months, you get listed on Sports Illustrated's top 10 wrestlers of 2020. How amazing is that?
It's mind blowing. It's humbling. The competitor in me, though, is like, well, I should be top 5. But that's just me being the competitor. I'm humbled by it.
Yeah.
But I always want more. And,
well, I appreciate that you have that hunger.
Yeah, that's the drive. That's why I'm still doing this for 19 years.
Yeah.
If I didn't have that drive, I would have quit after the first day I didn't get paid by a promoter.
I'm sure that's happened a lot.
20 plus hours in the car.
I was actually watching yesterday. I was doing some research before we dove into this and saw an old match of you and John when you were calling out whoever he was working for at the time, whether it was CZW, whoever it was, someone that hadn't paid you, just talking shit to him about that, making that his.
Oh yeah.
It happened.
He was laughing in the background. I was like, "Am I right?" Yeah, I remember that.
So great. Okay, so your time in AEW, you have just been catapulted to the top, essentially. Did you expect things to kind of go the way that they did from the very first time that you debuted to where you're at now? Would you have anticipated that it would have caught on like wildfire the way that it has?
No, because I don't even feel like it's caught on the wildfire yet. Because I'm not the top guy there.
Right.
You know what I mean? I'm not. It's just a weird mindset I have. Yes, I'm excited. It took me off guard, but I still don't feel like it's, crazy. If I would have finished 2020 main eventing the last Dynamite or something, you know what I mean, with John or with Kenny or something, then I'd be like, okay, wildfire. It's just, I always feel like there's something more, but I hate when I do this because then people are like, oh, he's not humble, he's not appreciative. No, I am. I just always want more before I'm done, because Lord knows how long I'm going to be doing this.
I don't think that it comes across that way at all. But I mean, I think from like the outside, like I said, it's like for you to have accomplished what you already have in AEW in those 5 months, moving on to like 6 months now. But like for you to have accomplished all of that and to already be sitting in such an amazing position that everybody's waiting for that next opportunity to come up. You had the AEW championship match with John. You've had the TNT championship matchup with Cody. You've been in those talks. It's really just a matter of time for those things to start happening again.
Yeah.
But
I just got to put in the work. That's the scary part. Cause I'm lazy. I don't want to do nothing when I'm home.
No, I don't think that that's true. There's no way that you could be where you are and say,
okay. Oh, well, I motivate myself, and I have a very small knit of friends who I consider family who motivate me.
Yeah.
And actually know how to talk to me.
Who are some of those people?
Homicide's number one. That's my best friend. Low Key is another one. You know what I mean? When I talk to Mox, you know what I mean? Just he motivates me by just him being him. You know what I mean? Just making me laugh.
Yeah.
Brody still motivates me. And then, I think about my mom and dad and stuff like that. Just weird things like that run through my head when I'm like, okay, I'll get up. You know what I mean? And my girlfriend motivates me. For the first time in my life, a girlfriend motivates me.
Oh my God, I can't wait to pick your brain about that. We'll do that in a little bit because I love getting into the personal nitty gritty.
So weird.
Talk
it's
wrestling
so weird.
first.
It's new. It's new. It's a whole new world for me.
Good.
I look at her. I'll just say this. I look at her all the time and I go, why? You could do so much better. That's what I keep telling her.
You can tell, like, right off the bat when I first met you. So before I even met you, John had you talk to me on the phone. I think you like were talking something like
Oh
this. Like,
yeah, yeah. He just
what's
wanted me to
going
talk
on?
trash about it. Yeah.
I'm like, what the hell's going on? Then I finally meet you, and like right off the bat, it's you and John are obviously cut from the same cloth, and I can just like see that and feel like you guys are who you are. There's no, you're very transparent in who you are, 1,000%. And those people are very far and few between. So do not discredit yourself. But we're gonna get into your whole love life. I cannot wait. Hell yeah. um, okay, so looking at everything with AEW, let's talk about the day that you got signed. Because you debuted and the internet went nuts. Like the internet was so behind you. Do you think that that had anything to do outside of your performance that night for Tony Khan to say, hey, we have to have this guy in our
I,
roster?
I think it was 50-50.
Yeah.
I really do think it was 50-50 because I never seen that before.
Crazy.
And it blew my mind that it was for me. And I was like, come on, I've been doing this. Again, I'm humble, but it still was like, what? I just did what I love to do. You know what I mean? So,
It's
but it
funny to
hit
see
me.
how,
It hit me hard. It hit me hard when
yeah.
I sat down and thought about everything. I was like, okay, this is crazy.
The wrestling community can be so supportive, and when they really rally behind someone like yourself who they know has been grinding for so long, it's really cool to see, like wrestling and Twitter in particular gets such a bad rap sometimes, but when they come together for the betterment of something, it's incredible to see that power and what they're able to do for somebody. But yeah, just looking on the outside of that, of them rallying for you, then you get signed. What was that phone call like with Tony Khan?
Well, actually, I talked to Christopher Daniels
Oh, okay.
first. Yeah, yeah. So me and Chris talked, and I've known Chris forever from the Indies. So you know what I mean? They offered me the deal, and then I listened to the other side. I guess we could call them. I
Oh, well,
listened to the other side. Yeah,
hell yeah.
and you know, I was just weighing options. But then my mother was the final nail. She goes, "You won't be happy over there, trust me."
Why
And I
did
said,
why
"Okay."
did you say that?
Hmm?
Why do you
Why
think
did
she
she?
said that?
Oh, because who knows me better than my mother? You know what I mean? She knows that people are gonna maybe not get underneath my skin, but people will. Uh, she, I'm trying not to bury anybody.
Yeah,
The
I know. It's fine.
it's hard, but I'll tell you, the bottom line with the whole thing is, I know more people at AEW, and I know there's a lot more heart there, like
Sure.
people who love the business, who were in it, who didn't come from somewhere else
Mhm.
and then become a wrestler. You know what I
Right.
mean? So like, I think for her, that's what she thought. She was like, I'm gonna be with people who love it just as much as I do.
I like that your mom's like privy to the inside of the business like that to know
Oh, I
like
gotta tell her. I gotta tell her things. If I don't tell her stuff, I'll keep it inside, and next thing you
yeah.
know, I'll blow up at the wrong time. Mox could tell you a couple stories about me blowing up.
I'm sure he can. Um, so how did like you get signed and then what happened with that conversation with WWE because they reached out to you right after, right?
Yeah, yeah. No, I just emailed them.
Oh,
There was no
okay.
guidance. There was no deep, movie scene thing, and they're evil or whatever. It was just I emailed
Yeah.
them. They said nothing. Oh no, they sent me back whatever they had to send me, and then that was it.
Oh, so it's pretty uneventful.
Yeah, no, there was no big scary evil empire saying they're gonna get me and Tony Khan and AEW. There was nothing like that. It was
Yeah.
just it was business. It was
Yeah,
business.
of course. And as a businessman, you do have to listen to both sides and just see what the best option is and kind of weigh all that out. Again, as we said, you've been doing this 20 years. You want to make sure you're getting the best deal and going to be happy
Yeah.
in the long run with whatever decision you decide to do. And obviously that was landing in AEW. But you did have a tryout with AEW before, right? Or with WWE before,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And how did that go?
I thought it was fine. It was whatever. I was just
Was
me. I
was
was just me.
this
Go
Did
ahead.
this go down at the PC or did this happen like old school, like you get in the ring and put on a
Oh
match
no.
and like Undertaker and Randy Orton and all those guys are standing around?
Oh no, 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 no. This was the PC. This
Okay.
is the PC. Jimmy Jacobs hooked me up with it.
Got it.
And me and Jimmy have been friends for years, and he was just like, "Hey, you want to try out?" I was like, "Yeah, sure, let's go." And I was just me because I went into that tryout because to me that tryout was really more for the Mae Young Classic because it was the biggest class they had for females or
Yes.
yeah. So I was like, all right, I get it. This is for the females. I'm just gonna go in and have fun, and that's the way I looked at it. So I said a couple of things that made certain
What did you
certain.
say? Give us the dirt.
Well,
You can give us the
they,
PC version if you want.
oh, well, I'll give you the one I liked the most.
Okay.
Was they had someone filming there, and Drake Younger grabbed me out of nowhere, and he was like, "King, tell him how hard this drill is." It was some dumb drill, and I was like, "Yeah, it was hard." And I've had people shoot at me, try to stab me with knives, and God, I hate this drill more than that. Put the camera down. Everyone's looking at me like I'm nuts because I said guns and knives.
Yeah.
And I went, "What? It's what? Okay, it's hard. What do you want me to say?" And I remember I was doing the promo class and I said, "Where I come from, they believe in Tupac more than Santa Claus." And I saw two writers just have this like confused look on their face when I said it. And I went, "Oh yeah, I'm done. I'm done. Let me
Because
just
you,
go have my match and I'll leave."
what a lame reason. I mean, come on,
No,
throw
I
the
don't
guy
know
a
if that was
bone.
I don't know if that was the reason, but I saw their faces and they just kind of went, you know what I mean, cocked their head like a confused dog sideways. And I was like, okay.
When you kind
And
of feel that energy in the room change and you're like, oh, this is maybe not going the way that I thought
yeah,
that it was going to go.
well, honestly, I went in there like, well, fuck it. That was my thinking when I went in there. I was like, what are they gonna do? Say no? I have what was I thinking in my head? I was like, oh yeah, I got 3 bookings that weekend anyway.
It's interesting because I feel like at a certain point, you either I feel like everyone always does their best work when they're in the it mode. That's always
Yeah,
when
oh
people
yeah,
do their
yeah, yeah.
best, 100%. But I do feel like at a certain point, when there starts to become more pressure, you've been doing it for a long time and you maybe want to have that moment of that breakout success. Did you ever feel that of like, oh, I need to make this connect and work right away? Or I'm going to have to, I know you did attempt to, you were thinking about retiring at one point,
Yeah,
but
yeah. Well, I'll tell you the retirement story. I saw something on the other side that bothered me so much that I was drinking a lot of whiskey that night.
mhm.
And I saw something on the TV that, chapped my ass a little bit, as you can say. And I could be a violent person, so I was breaking things in my house after a couple of drinks. And I said I never wanted to feel like that again, so I think it's time for me to go if something crazy doesn't happen. And then something crazy did happen. My brother, had a kid, and now I'm an uncle. And my brother said, "How can I tell my son not to quit on anything when his uncle did?" And I was
Oh,
like, that's what my brother said to me. And I was giving him the finger the whole way he said it to me right when I was leaving. And I was just giving him the finger the whole time leaving. But that's why I stayed. And then I guess I felt the pressure was because of, with Cody. Cody was the pressure moment.
mhm.
You know what I mean? And then I just said to myself, right before I went out, that's when I said to myself, "F- it." So you're right. The thing is there. But
Thank God it
it
kicked in
was
though,
right
right?
before. Yeah,
Were
it
you
was right
nervous that
before.
you, ugh.
Yeah, it was right before, right when the guy at Gorilla, my little homeboy at Gorilla that knows that I don't ever want pyro. That's my man. He said, "Go," and I went, "F- it," and just started just talking. And
Thank
then
God.
they had to stop me. They had to stop me because I called him Cody Rhodes like 3 times.
When you couldn't say it. Now you can at
Yeah,
least.
now I can. And then I remember I'm all the way in Eddie Kingston mode, which is like, "F- the world, everybody's against me, let's do it." So me at 17. And then Tony Khan walks out like, "All right, cut." And I'm like, "What the f- do you want?" And I went, "Oh, hey, Tony, what's up? What do I have to do?" So
It thank God that it kicked in though of getting a case of the gets, because if you hadn't, who knows what would have happened. How did it go during the day? Because you and Cody must not have crossed paths prior to that, right?
Oh well, we met each other on the Indies when he first got
Oh,
when he
you
got
did.
let
Okay.
go,
Oh, got it.
but never worked with each other. You know what I mean? And most of it was, hey, how you doing? Hey, how you doing? Uh, when I'm on the Indies, I'm not at that time. I've matured, I like to think. But at that time, I wasn't the nicest person. I was the grumpy older guy, just trying to make sure I get my money before I even go to the ring. Kind
Fair
of, you
enough.
know what I mean? Old school vet kind of thing, you know? So
Yeah.
I never talked to Cody. But it was basically just that day where I really got to know him and see what was going to go down, you know?
Yeah.
And I just, I basically told him, I said, I'm going to put pressure on you. I'm going to hit you, but you're going to be able to go home to your wife. That's the way I was taught. So,
Minimal facial issues. Just keep it all
yeah,
below.
yeah,
All
yeah,
below.
yeah. I know. I got, yeah, I made sure. I made sure
Yeah.
with Mox, but all the other stuff that was on him.
I know that. That's true. I was watching that like through like I'm always watching his matches like through my hands of like what the hell is going to happen. But I know how excited he was to have that moment with you in the ring and for you to again that catapult like keep talking about like all of a sudden you're in a championship matchup and I mean that was one of the matches that John I mean obviously he gets excited about stuff here and there but when he knew that he was going to get to work with you and for you guys to get to have that moment again was such a huge moment for him. It was really cool to see.
It felt so weird at one point. I'm standing there and I'm pacing again in full Eddie Kingston mode, pacing back and forth. And I just had a little split moment of us being in Philadelphia in the ring against each other. Like I had this split moment where we were just back at the old ECW arena, and I went, "Oh man, this is kind of funny." And then I remember they announced his name, and I went, "I'm gonna fuck you up," and then walked away. So I was right back into Eddie Kingston mode right away.
The best. It's so cool to see that. Yeah, when I went back and watched your guys' old match, you guys really haven't aged much in like a decade, which is
Oh, I
quite
was fat as
shocking.
Renee. Don't lie to me. I was so big. I was
Which
like 280, 290 at that time.
well, we all fluctuate. I'm huge right now. I'm carrying a child. It
Yeah,
happens
but
to all of
that I
us.
looked like I was carrying a child back then. See, at least you are carrying a child.
True, true, true. So getting into some of your promos, I mean, everyone's been giving you accolades for these amazing promos you've been doing, the emotion that's behind them. How much thought do you put into promos before you walk out to the ring? Or is it just off the cusp, kind of go out there and make it happen?
I wouldn't say off the cuff because to me, I'm not. To me, off the cuff means you have nothing in your brain. If I know who the person is, like with John, I was like, well, what? I love the guy, so what can I do? And I was like, okay, I'm jealous. That's all I put in my head,
Mhm.
and then I just went from there.
Give yourself
You know what
that
I mean?
motive and just tear into them.
Yeah, and I was just like, okay, I'm jealous of his success. Let me go from there. And then I just built it when I was out there.
How did your mom react to getting a little shout out on Dynamite? Give
She
Ruthie a
just,
little bit of love.
she just, she did the same thing I would do. She goes, "Do I get paid for that? For my name being mentioned?" I said, "All right, ma."
That's something my mom would totally
Yeah.
do.
And my mother's Puerto Rican, so she goes, do I get paid or no? Do I?" And then my father behind her, the Irishman, going, "Told you your mother's nuts." That was my life. Well, told you she's nuts.
My mom is the exact same way. We were filming Total Divas when we did a reality show for a hot second, which was a whole other trip. But my mom was on it a few times. And like, not only was she like, when am I getting paid? She was like, when is my spinoff? Like, she was ready to go be a star.
I, you know what? Respect. I
Yeah.
get it. I respect the hustle.
She was ready for that. Yeah. It was her time to shine. And she did a great job. She really did. Yeah. She absolutely cracked me up. My mom's, she's something. You'll meet her one day. I'll bring her out
Oh,
to a show. She'll
I
love
can't
it.
wait.
Yeah.
I can't wait. Maybe I could be on her podcast, right? Is that when that's gonna happen?
You know what? She's gonna move to Vegas at some point, so I'm sure she'll be co-hosting this with me at some point. There's another
Oh,
chair next to me. I'm sure that she'll be chiming in at some point.
I love
100%.
it. That
Yeah.
is That's why
Just
you
do
can't
it.
choose. Yeah, you can't choose your family, man. So that's why it's amazing.
Well, I swear a lot, but I get it from her, and hers is a million times worse than mine. Cause
Really?
oh yeah, yeah, yeah. But she
Okay.
comes across like she's very sweet older woman, and
I
she's
mean,
not.
I'll tell you something
But
about my mother. Yeah, my mother, same thing. All sweet. They're like, "What are you talking about? All sweet." I go check her purse. $10. I bet you she has a box cutter in there. She's an old school Puerto Rican woman from the Bronx. They always have something in there.
well, good. She's got to protect herself. She's got to be ready.
Yeah, always. She's always ready to go.
Okay, so you have wrestled literally just about everywhere.
Yeah.
You've made the rounds. You have not been in New Japan. You had a very brief, I wouldn't even call it a stint in WWE, but you had the tryout there, and it was something you got to dip your toes into. Is there anything that's left on your bucket list or a card that you want to turn over of a place that you want to go wrestle and work?
Oh yeah. Well, it's of course New Japan, but there
Mhm.
has to be. There's certain guys I want to get in there with.
Like who?
Tanahashi's number one.
Hmm.
That man, to me, Stone Cold Steve Austin's my favorite American wrestler.
Okay.
So to me, Tanahashi, Stone Cold Steve Austin of New Japan. He saved that company. Uh, I want to step into an All Japan Pro Wrestling ring because I love All Japan Pro Wrestling, the 90s with the four pillars, Masawa, Taue, Kawada, and my personal favorite of all time, Kenta Kobashi.
Hell yeah.
But I want to be in an all. I send the matches to John randomly. Randomly, I'll just send them matches. But I need this. It's not even a want. I need me versus Jun Akiyama in the All Japan ring. So I just that will be the cap on
Oh,
everything.
okay. So you gotta put it out there. You just have to manifest that. Put it out.
There
Put
it
out
is. It's
those
out in the
feelers.
universe. And you're
Let
a good
people know.
person, so maybe it'll help that I'm saying it to you.
We have to get it out there. I mean, if you don't say it, he's got to let it know. Maybe we'll tag him in some posts, see what happens.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be like, oh, he'll go, another American wants to wrestle me. I get it, you know?
Yeah, fair enough. But I will say, I mean, when I went over to New Japan with John and he did Wrestle Kingdom, and for me to uh see him and Suzuki go like they were
Yeah,
like head to head, I was like, holy, like I didn't even know what to expect from seeing that, but to see like a legend like Suzuki and him walking
yeah.
out with his towel over his head, and like he was, seemed to me like he was excited to work with John, but it was, yeah, you never know.
No, you never know. You never know. I'm also an old school guy when it comes to New Japan. Like, I still watch Chono versus Keiji Muto 1991 G1 Climax,
Damn.
the first ever G1. I watched the Three Musketeers of Shinji Hashimoto, Keiji Muto, Masahiro Chono. For a lot of the youngsters who watch the New Japan now, trust me, go back to those three.
Is
They
there
built the foundation.
what about for like American wrestling? Because I mean, I see you post a lot on social media. I mean, you're obviously such a student of the game and you live and breathe wrestling. You put out the posts of some of these matches that you're talking about. American wrestling wise, what are some of the standards that you look at?
Bret Hart to me is one of the best storytellers and most believable guys when I was growing up.
Mhm.
And then, like I said, Steve Austin, of course. So everyone loves their WrestleMania 13 match, but for me personally, their 96 Survivor Series match at the Garden
Yeah.
still to this day blows me away. Also, being there too as a kid also helps.
Oh, of
I was there,
course.
yeah. I was
How
there as a kid
how many times did you get to go down and see shows at the Garden?
about 4 or 5 times. You know what I mean? Not a lot. We didn't have a lot of money. We were good, but not a lot of money.
4 or 5 times at the Garden though, for a kid that's obsessed with wrestling, that's a pretty big deal.
Oh yeah, out of my mind. I used to go with uncle's friends or my
Yeah.
parents. You know what I mean? Yeah.
When did you fall in love with wrestling? What was like that first tip off moment that you're like, "Oh,
Well, there was two moments. One for my poor mother. The only I was a hyper kid, so the only way to keep me calm was to put on wrestling and have Chinese food. That was the only way I would shut up. So
at least she had some kind of a."
yeah, so when the weekends came, there it was Friday night right after school. Chinese food, and some VHS tape. Yeah, I said VHS tape.
Hell yeah.
Some VHS tape. And most of the time, my mother didn't know anything about wrestling, so she grabbed whatever. And the first wrestler that grabbed me was my mother put on Memphis Bloodiest Brawls. She got it from Video Visions in the Bronx and put it in, and I saw Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert fighting with Jerry Lawler. And for some reason, I still can't explain it to this day, I was just sucked in by Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert. You know what I mean? So he was the first American wrestler that I was just like, okay, I want to be him. And
what was it about him, you think, that like just something connected with you?
He was just so mean. He was so mean and so tough.
You're just meant to be a mean guy.
Yeah, like,
however, I do feel like you're becoming the biggest baby face.
I don't know.
Dare I say.
I can't change. So if you like the way I am, that's not my problem. That's a you problem. If you like me the way I am, that's a you problem. If you don't like me, that's also a you problem.
I like that.
You know what I mean? I can't control you. You know what I mean? Or your thoughts or whatever. I can only control my madness, you know?
I love it.
And I have a hard enough time with that as it is.
So you're watching some of this Memphis wrestling. When did it really strike you of like, I want to give this a try?
Well, I always wanted to be a wrestler. I said this to somebody actually this past tapings. Oh, yeah, I told Ortiz from the Inner Circle, LAX, whatever, Proud and Powerful, those kids. Those are my dudes. They're part of the circle. I was just telling them I never wanted to hit a home run in the World Series. Never wanted to make the game-winning shot in a basketball game or hockey game. You know what I mean? Like, or catch a game-winning Super Bowl. You know, all that. I just wanted to be a pro wrestler.
Mm-hmm.
For as long as I can remember, that's all I wanted to be. I wanted to be in Madison Square Garden being crowned the world champion. You know what I mean? Whether people were booing or cheering, I didn't care. I just wanted to be out there. You know, so I don't know, man. There were so many guys that influenced me. It's like I feel bad listing people because I'm gonna forget one.
Yeah.
And then I'm gonna remember like an hour later from now when I'm nice and meditated. And I'm gonna be like, oh man, I should have said that to Renee. But it was like Eddie Gilbert, of course, Steve Austin, Brian Pillman, Ricky Steamboat, Shane Douglas. God, there's so many. I don't want to keep going. But then I fell out of wrestling, and then ECW came along and pulled me right back in. I was 14 years old. All I wanted to see was guys fighting and half-naked women. That's what you are when you're 14.
Go to ECW. They had you covered.
Yeah, it was the 90s, guys. Don't cancel me. I know it's 2021. It was the 90s. It was a different time.
Was a different time, yes.
Yeah, so that pulled me in, and I just always wanted to be a pro wrestler. So when I graduated high school finally, and got.
Did you drop out for a bit?
No, I just got kicked out of everywhere. Yeah, a lot of fighting, just a lot of fighting. So when I finally got it, I joined the union, local 580 Iron Workers Union in New York. And I was sitting there on my first ever job site, 59th of Columbus. And I just see a bunch of the older guys coughing up a lung, drinking on the job site. And I'm like, is that my future? Do I want that? And I remember I went home, AOL folks, with the dial-up.
How old were you then? Like 18?
19.
Okay.
19, yeah, I told you, it took me like an extra year to finally get out of high school.
Fair enough.
And
what a grind.
Yeah, oh man. But I just remember going on AOL, the dial-up, because I'm older. And I just put in pro wrestling schools.
You're not older. You're like 4 years older than me, dude. I had dial-up.
But I look at least 7 or 8 years older than you. Stop it. This is not about you, Renee. We get it. You're pretty. Johnny's lucky. You know what I mean? He tells, by the way, side story, he tells me that all the time. So don't worry about it. The man loves you. Trust me.
He is a sweet boy.
To the point where I looked at him one time and said, all right, bro, we get it. You won. You won the lottery. We get it. Anyway, I looked up wrestling schools and found one in New Jersey, went there, got kicked out of there.
Why did you get kicked out? I read that on your Wikipedia. This is where I do all my research, by the way. Why'd you
Yes,
get
I
kicked
don't
out?
blame
What
you.
happened?
The guy he taught great basics, great basics. So all my, were from him. But he believed that if you didn't do anything in WWE, you didn't do nothing.
Okay.
So again, me, Hot Stuff Eddie Gilbert, Kenta Kobashi, Raven, Shane Douglas, Dreamer, none of them were in WWE. You know what I mean? And I would mention them and he'd be like, what they ever do? Blah, blah, blah. So one day I just had it. I was like, what the did you ever do? And then that was it. Yeah.
That was
I was
your
gone.
demise.
Well, yeah,
You hurt his feelings. You
yeah,
went for
but
the
he also,
jugular. Who'd you beat?
Yeah, but even then I was a wise ass. Then I remember he put me and my future tag partner, Blackjack Marciano, in the ring against him and another guy, and he started kicking us and stiffing us. And I just remember looking around while he's doing it, going, what the, really? And I looked over and I see Jigsaw, and who also trained with us, like another Chikara guy. He just was like, please don't do anything. Like looking at me, don't fight back. I said, mother, and I tagged out, whatever. Then he kicked us out like a day or two later.
After he threw you a couple potatoes.
Yeah. And we basically, and then, we were just begged not to fight back. You know what I mean? I do remember Blackjack Marciano taking him down with an amateur hold and holding him down. So I'm going to give my old partner a shout out on that. You held him, bro. You held him down, man.
Got some of it in.
Yeah.
So you mentioned Chikara, and that's basically where you made your name, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
And so how did that really happen? I mean, you're there in Chikara and there's all these like luchadors, all these high flying guys. How did you, I mean, I understand how you would stand out given that situation, but how did you thrive at Chikara with your different style?
Well, me, Jigsaw, and Blackjack first went there just because we got kicked out of the school after about 6-7 months of training, and we had the bug. So to the point where a bunch of us got money together and flew in Marty Jannetty to do a seminar with us.
Oh my God. Amazing.
And then we also got money together like a couple months later with more people to get Ted DiBiase in to train us.
That's amazing.
For a day. Oh yeah, we were broke kids, and thinking I was doing the ironworking. A lot of the money came from me pumping that, but I wasn't the guy who set it up. My friend Bobby Lentine, Robbie, was it Blind Rage? He used to call himself. Anyway, wow, I'm going deep in the weeds, but we were just so desperate to wrestle, and we looked up Chikara because we were fans of Lightning Mike Quackenbush and of Reckless Youth. Also, at the time, Homicide had a school, the Doghouse, but him and Low-Key were so busy on the road, on the indies, they were never there training people. So I was like, I'm not going there. So then we wound up at Chikara and just stuck. And Quack's a big comic book guy like me. And he said, Eddie, you're our Punisher. With all these wacky characters, you're the Punisher. And I went, oh, okay. I got it right away.
Is that ever something, because I mean, John and I have had this conversation before. I remember he was getting ready for a WrestleMania match, his ladder match that Brody was in. And he desperately wanted to be able to do some kind of a cool move. I remember him going down. So they set up in in the lobby area. They have like the ring set up, everyone, the crash pads and all that. And John's like, I'm gonna go downstairs. I'm gonna work on doing a moonsault. I was like, you're gonna go to a moonsault? What? But he was like, he's so desperately, he was like, I want to be able to do something flashy so badly. I didn't go with him. I was like, I can't bear to watch you try and do a moonsault. There's no way.
I couldn't either. Being his friend, I'd be like, nah, man, it's not worth it.
No, but is that something, especially like when you're in Chikara, and especially just the way wrestling is now? I mean, it's all these high spots and these high flyers and these guys doing all these flashy moves. Is that something you ever wish was part of your artillery, or is that it's just not your thing?
No, I never wished it. I never wished it because I don't know how those guys survive it. And when they get older, God bless them. I hope it doesn't happen to them. They're gonna hurt more than me, I believe. And I've done crazy bumps on the ground, getting killed on concrete, and doing things like John did, and the death match stuff. You know what I mean? I've done all that,
Mhm.
and my body hurts. But those guys, I'm like, their knees are gonna be shot. You know what I mean? Before they're 40.
Anytime
And
I
if
see
they're, and
someone
if,
do like a
yeah,
450 or something, I'm like, oh my God.
I get. But anyway, but I also respect those guys because they can do that.
Yeah, of
You know what I mean? That's
course.
why I don't hate it. It may not be what I like to watch, but I will never hate on it because I
Hmm.
can't do it. Now, if I could do a 450 or a 630 better than one of those guys, then I'll hate on it and be like, bro, you suck. But I
Yeah,
can't. But when
fair
it
enough.
comes to my moves, those weren't the guys that I was attracted to anyway.
Hmm.
The, Again, my favorite wrestler, Kenta Kobashi, the only thing he did was a moonsault.
Yeah.
Everything else was hard hitting in your face. Steve Austin, same thing.
Yeah.
Hard hitting in your face.
Yeah.
Terry Gordy, Dr. Death Steve Williams, hard hitting in your face. And that's what I always liked. So I was like, I'm going to bring that to my game.
Hmm. So at this point that you're at in your career of, you put in all this time, it's the opportunity and the preparation of intersected, and the success is incredible to see. I've been able to see so many different people debut or get this great opportunity, and they're just not quite ready to fully
Yeah.
step into that spotlight. And it sucks, but they get another opportunity down the line. It is what it is. It's fine. But to see you step into that spotlight and so ready to own that, do you feel that? Do you feel that you're at that spot of just like that confidence and like you know yourself and you know exactly what you're doing?
Oh, yeah, yeah. I was seasoned enough.
Yeah.
After 19 years, if I wasn't ready for it, then I shouldn't even
Yeah.
be there. You know what I mean? I was definitely seasoned for it through the traveling, through wrestling in front of so many different crowds, different people in the ring with, helping guys, not helping guys, all this stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? Just it was 19 years of experience coming out. When you see me walk out there, that's what it is.
Yeah.
A bunch of that coming out.
Who are some other people that you would like to see in an opportunity like you have right now? Some other dudes that could step into that spotlight and be successful right away as well.
Man, okay, so I'll do the emotional ones first, and
Okay.
I'll do the ones non-emotional, like business wise. You
Okay.
know what I mean? Emotionally, it's all my guys in the second gear crew, like Mance Warner, Matt Justice, those dudes. Uh, my boy Jigsaw, of course, since we broke in together, and I've known him since he was 15. You know what I mean?
Wow.
This little kid, he's always been ugly. That's why we keep the hood on him. He took it off in Ring of Honor, and Gabe Sapolsky was like, I don't know. And then he came back to Chikara, and Quack was like, I'll never forget it. Quack said, a little wink here because it's a joke, but Quack said, you got to put that mask back on, man. We're trying to get kids in here. You're going to scare them off anyway.
Oh,
He knows he's
okay.
ugliest then. He knows he is, but without a shadow of a doubt, Jigsaw, Hollow Wicked, another guy from Chikara who is still to this day the best student to ever come out of that place.
Hmm.
So smooth, so good, everything about him. The unemotional side, I would love to see ACH get another chance at something. I know
Okay.
he's getting a little something in New Japan. I feel like he just had a little mental break, which we all get.
Yeah,
Just
got to take that time sometimes,
yeah, it's just
reevaluate
that
shit.
yeah, trust me, I've had many mental breaks. It's just that mine wasn't
I think
as
I'm still on one. I'm currently
yeah,
still on one.
yeah. Thank God
Taking a
John's there.
breather.
Wait, Mark has been on a mental break for years too. Anyway, but
Permanent
like
mental break.
he just he had it. You know what I mean? It was just public. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
We all had it. So unemotionally, I would love to see him get another shot, another try at it. There's so many guys out there in the indies who are starving, who are good,
Yeah.
who are very, very good. You know what I mean? And they just need a chance. And also some of them just needed to mature. And that comes in time. I don't mean that in a disrespectful manner. It's just that comes in time. Because I wasn't mature until I got to AEW.
No, but it's like I think, going back to what we were saying at the beginning, it's like getting that case of the buckets, being
Hmm.
confident in who you are and being able to step in and do that. Cause like I said, I mean, watching people on Raw and SmackDown at NXT during my time in WWE, and you see people that weren't quite ready for that big push. And I feel for them. It sucks. It's not even a knock on them. It's just sometimes
No.
people just aren't ready for that spotlight at that time. And it's a lot of pressure. It's
Yeah,
so
it's a lot of mental. It's a big mental maturity thing.
Yeah.
It
I mean,
really,
even
really
just
is.
from like the simple things that, I mean, I obviously, again, you've been around for a long time, but you with like finding camera angles easily and like that simple
Yeah, that
stuff,
helped me.
it's not simple, but it's stuff that you don't think about until you're out there and you're like, oh, we're doing TV. Where's the hard camera? Where's this like stuff
Yeah,
that stuff just makes such a big difference, especially this day and age when you don't have crowds there. You're
yeah,
just
no,
performing for the cameras and that's your connection with the audience.
yeah. What helps me with that is that I try to keep in my mind that it's a real fight.
Mhm.
So in a real fight, I don't care about cameras or people.
Yeah.
So I just try to keep that in my head so I don't
You
psych
find
myself out.
me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I was also again Steve Austin, my favorite of all, favorite American wrestler of all time, said they have 8 cameras out there. If they don't get the shot, that's on them.
Mhm.
I'm trying to win a match. And that's what I kept in my mind when I go out there.
That
And I
is
try to
smart.
tell the younger guys that some of them do it, some of them don't, and that's fine. That's on you, bro. I'm trying to get to the top. If you're not trying to get there, that's on you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. We've talked wrestling.
Mm,
Now for the personal stuff.
yes, yes.
All right, your
Mm,
girlfriend. How did you
yeah.
meet her? What's her story? Give me a little
I'm gonna
backstory.
give you very little because I don't know how much she wants
No,
me to give out. I
damn
don't know
it.
how much you'll meet her. You'll meet her one day.
Women love to just be put over.
Oh no, no. She already knows how wonderful, how great she is, and how I'm amazed every day by her.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna give her name out. I'm just gonna say she's just
So she's
everything
somebody in
she
the
said.
business.
No, no, there's no one in the
Oh,
business. I'm
okay.
done. Oh boy, I am done with that.
I never
Ho,
thought I'd be
ho.
married to a wrestler, but lo and behold,
Well, you met one of the good ones.
I
You met
did.
one of the good ones.
I was
One of the ones
lucky.
who knew, one of the ones who won't change on you and flip the script out of nowhere. You know what I mean?
True. Yeah.
But she amazes me every day because of her drive. Whatever she wants to do, it'll be done.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter what it is. Like if she wants to be an astronaut tomorrow, she'll be one. But like that's how she motivates me. Said I look at her, this little girl, and like, wait a minute, you're a black belt in this.
Damn.
You you were in a rock band here. You studied under gourmet chef here.
What?
You were an art director. Where? What? You worked for who? What? Yeah, and it's like no big deal to her. And I go, what are you nuts? And she's like, well, you wrestle. I go, that what? You know what I mean? So
Yeah.
it was like anything she wants to do, and it's that drive now makes me do it. Like, okay, if she can do it, and for some reason she likes me, then I can do it.
How did you guys meet?
She was actually working for a company I was working for,
Mm.
doing like the art directing or whatever it was. And we actually just became friends. I didn't think she had any interest in me, so I just shut down and would just stayed a friend.
You
Like,
tried to stay in friend zone?
yeah, I would that, but I'm a psychopath. Once I think so, I don't have a shot, I just shut down, don't even try.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And we just kept talking, kept being friends, and it's so weird when people say one thing led to another. It's true, that's what it was. One thing led to another. We just stayed friends, and then out of nowhere, I tried this new thing that people have been telling me to try to do for years, which is being open.
Oh, that's not easy.
Not,
That's not
not,
an
you know
easy
what I
thing to
mean?
do. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. No, it's not. It's not. So I started being open with her, and then realizing, wait a minute, she's not judging me, and she's not talking down to me because of whatever I'm opening up about. And if she thinks it's wrong, we actually have a discussion about it. We're not
Adult
young. Yeah, we're not
adult
yelling.
relationships are amazing
Yeah, we're
with the
not.
right person.
Yeah, we're not yelling and screaming. I don't have to worry about her maybe swinging at me or something. Like we're having a good time. Okay, So I'm at a good place, and I'm not satisfied, but I'm at a good place finally. And I
Yeah.
know I could be at a better place because let me tell you something. Just Thursday, just Thursday, was it? No, I'm sorry, Wednesday. Just Wednesday, I got mad about something and it ruined my day, and I started getting mad at everything. Boom, 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 boom,
Hmm.
boom, one thing after another. So, and I worked on it, and didn't do the old Eddie, which was nasty to everybody because I was feeling a certain way, and then waiting for someone to say something back to me, and then me smacking them and going, "Hey, what are we doing?" You know what I mean?
Let's call it
Taking it out.
passionate. You're a passionate man.
It's either I don't know if it's the Irish side of me or the Puerto Rican side or both mixing in there, messing me up. But anyway, you know what I mean? Like when I tell people I'm at a good place, it's that happens, and I have to work on things. And
Hey,
I
you're
got to work
human.
on that.
We're all a little work in progress. We've all got
Yeah.
shit to work on. No one's perfect.
No, nobody is. Nobody is.
Yeah.
But that's why I try to tell people. You know what I mean? Look, I'm at this spot because I had to finally grow up.
Hmm.
I had to finally stop blaming other people. Oh, that coach at the PC don't like me, or that guy don't like me, or this or that. No, it's on me. What didn't I do?
Hmm.
And that's it. That's the way I look at it now.
Yeah, I mean, it's you take a little ownership for things, and you
Yeah.
grow and you learn, and you can be reflective about things. Um, but either way, you're in a good place. You've got a great girl. That's good to hear. This can be completely separate from her, and this is absolutely zero pressure. But you mentioned how important it was for your nephew and now your niece to see
Yeah.
you be successful. Do you want to have kids? Do you want to
Yeah.
have a family? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love to pass down what my uncles and my dad taught me to
Like
them.
what?
Just always being hungry, always wanting to be a fighter, be respectful, love your mother. What they used to say some crazy one-liners to me. They used to say, "One God, one country, one woman," and they used to tell me that when I was like 5. I'm like, "Oh yeah,"
It's
you
crazy.
know?
That stuff stays really ingrained in your
Yeah,
brain now. Like it really like
yeah.
that stuff sticks with you. I think
Like
about
my
things like that a
oh,
lot
God.
now, especially like having a kid. I'm like, oh my God, what are the things I'm gonna say to her that are gonna stick with her that are gonna be important? Like, oh my God, I'm gonna have to start like filtering everything I say or think.
Oh,
Shit.
here we go. Here we
The
go.
pressure.
Yeah, I got real heavy on John once when he told me about the situation, and I found out before he decided to blurt it out on TV. And I remember when he
Uh-huh.
blurted it out, I said, "What are you doing?" He was like, "Oh, I just needed something." I was like, "All right, well, good for you." But
Yeah.
when I found out about it, I said, "Man, congratulations! Now you're a full man, and now you have the greatest job in the world." And he was just like, "Man, you just got real heavy." I was like, "My fault." But that's what I believe. I believe being a father would make me a full man,
Hmm.
and also it'd be the greatest job in the world.
Well, I think
But for
we spend so much time focusing on ourselves, especially in this line of work, whether it's wrestling or entertainment or whatever. We're our own epicenter for so long. It's cool to hit that point of like, all right, ready to like put the attention on somebody else right now.
yeah,
That's definitely like where I feel like I'm at. I'm over myself. Let's make somebody else cool.
make someone else. I feel the same, but I got some time because my brother got 2 kids, so he kind of saved me on that.
Good. Dodged a bullet. You're good for a little
Yeah.
bit. So your mom, your dad, and your brother, what's your relationship like with them? Do you get home to, I guess you can't really get home to see family all that easily right now,
Oh no,
given the
my mother
pandemic,
drove
but
down here. My mother
no
drove down.
way.
Yeah, she drove down to Florida from New York like a mad woman.
Hell yes. Good
Her and
for
my
her.
father. Yeah, they were like, "No, I'm gonna see you guys
Oh,
on Christmas." I was like, "All right."
that's the best.
Yeah,
Did they
my
just come
brother's
stay with
in.
you?
Yeah, yeah, they're staying with me, and yeah, man, it's mom and dad. You know what I mean? I wouldn't be here without either one of them. But the lessons, and I tell you right now, my parents never gave up on me.
Yeah.
Like every time they had to get me out of the holding, every time I got kicked out of school for fighting, you know what I mean? Every time I would miss something because of wrestling, or I would do something else bad or whatever. You know what I mean? They never gave up. They always bailed me out. They lied to the cops for me, you know, a couple times, you know. I'll tell you that story off air or next time I see you.
Fair.
And just stuff like that. They never gave up on me. So, you know what I mean? Whatever I have now, I like to throw them stuff and have a good time with them. And me and my brother, you know, we're the same, but we're not. So we didn't talk for a couple of years because we
He
got into a
older or younger than you? He's older.
younger,
Oh, he's younger.
younger.
Okay.
Yeah. So we fought a little bit, didn't talk for a while. Then we got back to talking to each other, and it was like nothing ever happened.
That's the
And that was
best.
it. You know
That's
what I
good
mean? Yeah.
family. Yeah.
Well, that's the way I was raised. You know, when I growing up in the Bronx, and the apartment was my family. Right across the hallway was the Puerto Rican side, and like adjacent to us was my Irish grandmother who lived there. So my uncles were there. We were just always stuck tight together.
Mm-hmm. I love that. Yeah, that's cool. Your mom and your dad were able to drive down from New York. Hell yeah.
Oh, she wasn't having
Pedal
it.
to the
She's a mother
metal.
forever. Get ready for that.
God. Oh,
Get ready to be a mom forever now.
forever. I was saying
Forever.
that to John last night. I was like, yo, we gotta like take care of her forever. Like we're gonna know this kid forever. It's I know it's like such simple terms, but when you really wrap your head around that, it's like, oh
Yeah.
my God. Like,
And
of
I know
course,
he
yes, but like
I can just picture his reaction now. Oh yeah, yeah, yeah. Like, nigga,
100%. I keep saying like things like that to him that I know are again like they're very simplistic, but he's like, I can see it sort of resonating with him. Like, holy I was like, dude, we like combined and made a person. What the hell? It's crazy. Okay, so we are in 2021. Things are looking up here for Eddie Kingston. Again, only 6-ish months into your contract with AEW. It's the year of Eddie Kingston, as I would like to coin it. What else do you want to achieve? How do you see the rest of the year shaking down?
Well, professionally, uh, I want to be the top guy. There's no other spot that any of us should not want, want the most, which is
Mhm.
that. Top guy. I want to tell great. Still, I want to fight in there. I want to entertain. I want to tell a good story. All that. Speaking of fighting, I also want to get at least 2 Muay Thai fights in. I already have 2 amateur ones. Amateur ones.
Really?
Yeah.
Where
Well,
would you do that? Where do you do that out of? Would you do that out of like Orlando or something? Where do you
yeah,
go?
out of Orlando. Yeah, I trained at American Top Team East Orlando to do Muay Thai, and
Wow.
they were kickboxing. There's no elbows and knees to the head, but 1-1. Never been knocked out. I like to say,
Thank
but
God.
I would like to have maybe at least 2 more in 2021. Uh, and honestly, I know this is maybe a pipe dream, but it hit me when I was driving through Jacksonville after the last tapings. Like, I would like to be able to make enough money where I could be like, man, there's a lot of homeless in Jacksonville.
There's a lot of homeless in Jacksonville. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe just find a spot and open up a shelter and be like, yeah, sleep here for a
Wow.
couple days or something.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm not trying to be a good person. Not. It just came to my fucking head when I was driving through. No, I don't have enough money yet to do that. You know what I mean? But it would be something nice to do. Also, if I'm going to do something for Jacksonville, I always believe in taking care of home. So I would like to do something in New York too.
Hmm.
But again, that all comes down to if I'm a top guy, if I got to get to my top guy spot to make that kind of money.
Sure.
You know?
Sure. Sure. I mean, I think that everybody believes that you'll get there. The day that you walk out there with that AEW, now that I know that at least you're not going to be taking it from John, I can feel better about
Oh,
that.
okay. I get it. I get. You never know. You
You
never know
never know.
that man. You never know what he's gonna do. So he
What would
may
be your
have it before I know it.
what would be your perfect situation of winning the championship? Who would you want it to win it from?
It has to be John.
That son of a
I'm sorry. It has to be John. Has to be in New York,
ooh.
Madison Square Garden. You talk about perfect. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Realistically, me and John, New York, Hammerstein Ballroom, sold out Hammerstein Ballroom, a place
Okay.
where I used to go to watch ECW shows, a place where I've wrestled for Ring of Honor and a couple other places before. So yeah, that perfect scenario.
Yeah.
Perfect
God,
scenario.
just got to get back into these crowds, get back on the
Yeah,
road.
I know. I
Man.
know, man.
I mean, that's really just a missing piece at this point because otherwise those things seem like they can all just come together otherwise.
Yeah, Yeah.
Absolutely. And again, with all the success that you've had, seems to me from my observations of Eddie Kingston, this chip on your shoulder seems to be the thing that motivates you. Do you think that
Yeah.
that's something, now that you have the contract, you've got the money coming in, you're getting the success, do you worry about maintaining that chip or like
No,
keeping
not at
that
all. Cause
motivation?
not at all. Not at all. I've had this chip since I was a kid. Not at all. I'm not worried at all. And I used to dare people to try to touch it. You know what I mean? Like I was that guy in the, you know what I mean?
When
But
was the, when was the last time you got in like an actual fight?
that I haven't been paid for.
Yeah. Are we
Oh,
allowed to even talk about that? I don't know.
well, it
We
wasn't
can cut
nothing.
it if we're
It,
not.
it wasn't. It wasn't nothing crazy. It was just me by myself in Orlando again, drinking, trying to drown the demons at the time. You know what I mean? But they know how to swim. So, but
We've got
yeah,
the
no,
life preservers down there.
yeah, it was just two guys making too much noise. Maybe I shouldn't have went out that night if I wanted to be peace and quiet. I kind of started it. And it ended, and that was it. I went home. That was a good one. I went. At least I got to go home
Thank
that
God.
night. You know,
Maybe it's what you
that was the
needed.
last one. But the chip on my shoulder is mostly more professional because once again, putting it out in the universe, y'all. Once I get the championship, once I'm the top guy, once I get the world's championship, now it's about maintaining it. Now it's about drawing people.
It's the
Now,
hardest part, right? Once you
yeah,
get to the top, you got to stay there.
yeah, and then that's the next chip on my shoulder and the next goal.
Hmm.
And then after that, get it again or get it whatever, and then help the younger guys and do this and do that. There's always something next to do.
Absolutely. All right. Before I let you go here, I just wanted to bring up because I mean, I know everybody's seen the amazing promo that you cut backstage. We saw it on Being the Elite after the Brody Lee tribute show. Um, I mean, you just have such a natural presence and a natural locker room leadership to you. But
Uh,
it seemed like it just came out of nowhere that you were like, no, the people need to hear this. This is important. We all need to
yeah,
love each other and all that. I mean, it was very powerful. I think that it really touched a lot of people that were able to see that.
the homicide makes fun of me now because he goes, "I see you're the locker room leader now," and I'm like, "Leave me alone." And he'll randomly send me like a picture of something saying "boss" on it or something. I'm like, "Lee, come on." But what was weird was I just had this overwhelming feeling of energy after the show was over, and I was kind of like, no, 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 no. I feel like I need people to understand why I'm getting this energy, and I just started just yelling because I was like, why can't we do this every week? Why does it take one of our fallen brothers, like, and I consider Brody a brother? Why does it take him to pass away for us to be this emotional in the ring
Mhm.
and bring it out to the people so the people can feel us, you know? And then I'm going on and I'm like, oh man, this is really embarrassing. People are looking at me. What the is going on? And then I see the camera, and you can actually see me see the camera, look at it, and I go, okay, we got to carry it. All right, carry it. And I run away as fast as I can because it's not about that.
Yeah.
It's not about, and I get why they put it up, and that's cool. I don't do things to be because I've done a lot of bad in my past that I don't think like me doing this stuff now is look at me, I'm a good boy, I'm a good guy. I can give less
Yeah.
because as long as my family knows I'm good, as long as you know what I mean, people who I care about know, hey, Eddie has problems, but he's a good person. That's all I care about. I don't care about the masses or the
Yeah.
internet community knowing. You know what I mean? I don't care.
Of
So I
course. I
don't
mean,
do.
you could tell that that was like as much it was for the people in the room.
Yeah,
That's,
and
you know,
all I care about is just all I care about is being me. And I always told myself I would stay like that no matter what this business does to me. Because I seen it
and that can
do
be
it
a
to
tall
women.
task. Yep.
Yeah, I seen it do it to women. Some women I was in love with. It did it to them.
Yeah.
It did it to guys who I thought were close personal friends of mine. It just happens, and I don't hate them for it. It
Hmm.
just happens. It changes you,
Yeah.
changes how you think and who you take care of, and maybe you don't take care of nobody. You just take care of yourself and I made sure, look, it's not going to change me.
Yeah.
Has that hurt me in my past? Yeah, because I've taken it to the extreme. You know what I mean? But I'm happy where I'm at now. And I couldn't do that if I wasn't being myself.
Yeah.
Happy but not satisfied. I always got to keep saying that for myself, you know?
Yeah. I love that. Well, Eddie, thank you so much for taking the time.
Hey, thank you.
Yeah, thanks for coming on.
I marked out. I told Moxie in person on Wednesday. I said, yo, bro, you and your wife's podcast, man. I'm ready. I'm ready.
Yes. Hell yes. No, I'm so stoked to have you on. I mean, you were at the tippy top of my list of like getting for 2021. Let's get Eddie on again. I'm gonna trademark this, but it is the year of Eddie. So everybody buckle the fuck up because it's all happening. This is it.
Thank you. By the way, the Bills won. So shout out to the Butcher, the Blade and the Bunny, West Side Gun, the Butcher, you know what I mean? Buffalo, stand up.
That post that you put on on Twitter or Instagram, was that real?
I have no idea. No idea. Someone sent it to me. I said, whatever, I'll make believe it's real. I don't know.
I was like, wait, is that real? That's cool.
If that is real, I feel kind of bad for Buffalo because Allie's right in the middle and
she's not even from Buffalo. Let's get that right. She's from Canada.
All right.
She's one of ours. She's one of ours.
We get it. Two of the most beautiful women I've ever met in my life. Two of them are from Montreal.
Oh, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Montreal.
And no one will ever know. No one will ever know who I'm talking about.
Oh. No. Is one of them Maurice?
No.
Because she's a
no offense. Oh my God, I laughed real bad. No offense.
She knows she's hot. She can handle it. She's good.
Not my type though. Not my type.
Fair enough. Well, I can't wait to find out what your type is when I get to meet your girlfriend and find out more about her because she sounds excellent.
Yes. You'll have a blast with her.
Awesome. All right, I will let you get back to your Sunday. Thank you or Saturday. I don't know what day it is. I'm pregnant. I don't know what's going on.
I'm with you.
Not a clue. All right, I'll talk to you later, dude. Thank you.
All right, thank you. I had a pleasure. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Bye.